What's up guys, and almost Happy New Year. Given that I didn't make any videos for Christmas, I thought that I would make a video on the New Year's celebration. So yes, as the title suggests, I'm going to talk about what Veganuary is and why you should go vegan for the month of January. Veganuary is a registered charity in the UK that encourages people to try vegan for the month of January. For just 1 month, this charity challenges you to drop all animal products out of your diet. Those who visit the website to take the online pledge will receive daily emails containing delicious recipes, meal plans, legitimate nutrition advice, and helpful tips. And what better time to launch a campaign like this than in January, which is supposed to be the month of resolutions and of new beginnings. Going vegan is one of the easiest and most effective ways to reduce unnecessary animal suffering, while simultaneously alleviating many other human issues like food waste, climate change, and personal health. So there are actually quite a few reasons to try going vegan, not just for the month of January, but throughout the remainder of the year, and there are probably over 100 reasons, but I'm just going to shorten it down to 4 reasons why you should go vegan this January. Food security and world hunger are massive and prevailing problems worldwide. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that 815 million people, or 1 in 9 people, suffers from undernourishment. Undernourishment can have particularly egregious effects on young children and the very senile elderly, and symptoms can range from weakened immune systems to bone stunting to bloated stomachs and other medical conditions. Fun fact, we actually produce enough food to feed the world, yet world hunger persists largely because of food waste and the fact that hundreds of thousands of crops are fed directly to animals who are then slaughtered for food. In fact, globally, 1.3 billion tons of food production is expired or tossed out before consumption. And the global harvesting and packaging of wasted food releases 3.3 billion tons of greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gas emissions trap infrared radiation in the atmosphere and raise global temperatures, which can have devastating effects on the ecosystem. Meat products are the largest waste products. For example, it takes 5 to 9 pounds of grain for a pig to gain 1 pound of weight, and 6 to 27 pounds of grain for a cow to gain 1 pound of weight. Once you take into account that not even all parts of the animal is eaten, like the blood, the brain, the bones, the tendons, and the liver, then you realize that cycling crops through animals and then eating the animals is far more inefficient and represents a huge net loss of both calories and nutrition. Going vegan would drastically decrease demand and therefore waste in these really harmful products, and going vegan, you could opt to spend more on nuts, beans, grains, and seeds, which are the most shelf-stable and the least wasteful. Therefore, the urge to produce even more food could be drastically offset by reducing the amount that is currently wasted and by going vegan, at least for the month of January. According to the EPA, the entire animal agriculture industry accounts for about 9% of total greenhouse gas emissions. And nearly a third of these emissions are a direct result of cattle belching and farting tons of methane into the atmosphere. Methane is potentially worse, as it is 34 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Globally, animal agriculture accounts for about 24% of total greenhouse gas emissions, which is more than the entire transportation industry. You should really stop and think about this. Cattle and livestock farming contribute more to greenhouse gas emissions and to climate change than all of the world's buses, cars, and trains combined. Knowing this, giving up animal products is the largest environmental impact that we could have that is relatively easy to achieve. Simply put, you should go vegan because animals are sentient beings. One could argue that rights exist in a society to protect its citizens from unjust discrimination, and I would argue that morality exists pretty similarly, that it exists to protect those who can suffer from suffering unduly. If a being can be harmed, then it should deserve moral consideration. Sentient animals can certainly feel, suffer, and be harmed, therefore they should be granted moral consideration. And if these sentient animals do deserve moral consideration, then it is certainly wrong to treat them the way that we are treating them. Yet the animal agriculture industry and even private farmers legalize and normalize abusive behaviors like the debeaking of baby chicks and the removal of teeth and genitalia without anesthetics. Sensible and rational vegans draw the moral line at sentience, which is the ability to perceive reality subjectively. Sentience is the ability to uniquely perceive one's own environment and to experience well-being, pleasure and comfort, or physical and psychological suffering. There are numerous animal species who have exhibited sentience, even if they cannot convey it via verbal communication. It is scientific consensus that the vast majority of animals, with the possible exception of insects and bivalves, are sentient beings. To deny the sentience of animals would be to deny consensus, and to deny consensus means that you have access to an amount of knowledge that the experts themselves aren't privy to, which is highly unlikely. Top scientists and neurosurgeons at the University of Cambridge submitted a 2012 Declaration of Consciousness, which states,
"Convergent evidence indicates that non-human animals have the neuroanatomical, neurochemical, and neurophysiological substrates of conscious states, along with the capacity to exhibit intentional behaviors. Consequently, the weight of evidence indicates that humans are not unique in possessing the neurological substrates that generate consciousness. Non-human animals, including all mammals and birds, and many other creatures, including octopuses, also possess these neurological substrates."
In other words, all of the neurological processes in humans that induce consciousness or sentience, they're also present in animals. As stated in the Earthlings documentary, granted, these animals do not have all of the desires we humans have. Granted, they do not comprehend everything we humans comprehend. Nevertheless, we and they do have some of the same desires and do comprehend some of the same things. The desires for food and water, shelter and companionship, freedom from movement, and avoidance of pain. You see, like you and me, non-human animals, with the possible exception of bivalves and insects, are sentient beings, and therefore we should all be included within the scope of moral concern. This doesn't mean that we are equal, but we should all be morally concerned with each other. And going vegan is a great way to avoid causing unnecessary harm and suffering to non-human animals, as we do not eat, wear, or use animal products. Yes, meat products are high in calcium, zinc, and protein, and contain B12, but all of these nutrients can be absorbed through fruits, vegetables, and dietary supplements. According to the International Vegan Association, the 4 key nutrients vegans need to be mindful of are iodine, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and of course B12. Iodine can be absorbed by sea vegetables, cranberries, navy beans, and iodized salt. Omega-3s can be absorbed from walnuts, flax seeds, hemp seed oil, and tofu. Vitamin D and vitamin B12 are a bit more difficult to get, but requirements can still be met through the exposure to sunlight in the case of vitamin D, and with B12 it can be absorbed through fortified foods and B12 supplements. In short, consensus is that all people can be healthy on a well-balanced vegan diet. If we know that such a lifestyle is better for the environment, for the animals, and by extension other people, then why not choose to become vegan if it is within our grasp? With the continuous rise of the vegan population, companies have shown that they are more than welcome to adjust to the needs of its consumers, and there is now like a vast array of faux meats, faux cheeses, and other nutritional plant-based foods. Knowing all of this, rational people would just accept that taste, pleasure, and convenience are not valid justifications to continue taking animals' lives. For the animals, for the environment, and for the world, pledge to go vegan this January. Wow, thank you for sticking around if you're still watching. So if you are, then yay. I want to ask you if you are really tired of all of the pseudoscience and the dogmatism and folly that seems to be prevalent in the mainstream online vegan community. And if you are, then I would like to invite you to join the Facebook group that I recently created called Rational and Pragmatic Vegans. And we're just a group of ordinary, reasonable, and rational vegans who are interested in science and who care about reason, compassion, and just being kind and good activism. So if you think you'd be interested in joining this Facebook group, then click on the link down below in the description box and request to join, and I will accept it. Also, if you are a certain someone who is an online personality whom I dislike a lot, if I see you in this group, I will block you, so don't even bother to join. The person knows who he is. Anyways, thanks guys for watching, and another video will be coming up soon, and I might do a live stream. Thanks for watching. Peace.